are, guys. Wow, the music was a little creepy, right? For the countdown.
It was a little bit meditative. Could sleep
Yeah,
now.
I thought, okay, I'm gonna try the countdown. I'm sure there's gonna be a rock music or a pop music, something like that, and then this really chill out music. It was a little creepy, yeah. Okay, anyway, guys, welcome back to the Escape 95 Club. Welcome back to one of our weekly session. I'm here today with Cordelia Kate. Here to talk about challenges, to talk about tri-funnels. I don't know how you want to call them, Cordelia. And, I was about to tell everyone who you are in case they don't know you, but I thought, you know what, maybe it's better if you're gonna just introduce yourself, say who you are, what you do, and why you do what you're doing. So go on.
Sure thing. Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. Much appreciated. It's great to meet you properly and to be in your space. My name's Cordelia Kate. I call myself the rebellious business coach. Rebellious meaning being the wildest, most extreme version of you in business, having the tenacity to stand out in the crowd as you after a lifetime of feeling like you just wanted to fit in. And I was a nurse and I started a side hustle, which turned into a successful business. I ended up leaving nursing. And these days I teach entrepreneurs how to do the same, but not just with strategies and sales tactics. We holistically support people to step into entrepreneurship, to heal their past and heal blocks that are getting in the way of massive success, and then to help them sort of pave the way to that success through business strategy and structure and building audiences, especially building communities, or as we call building your tribe, which is one of the key things that we support people with, because I believe every business should have a community of its own.
Nice, nice. Okay, so I guess that not so many people are familiar with tribe funnels or creating your tribe or growing your tribe because we usually talk about funnels, we talk about
Mm.
marketing strategies. So let's start first from this, and then I want to know something more about yourself, about your past, like the struggles you went through. But first, tell me, what is a tribe? Why do you have to grow your tribe?
So a tribe funnel is essentially, it's an accelerated way to grow your audience, turning social media scrollers into community members that then become clients. And the reason why I believe that every business should have a community is because they are absolutely phenomenal, a phenomenal way of bringing people together, nurturing people and building relationships with people. Now, here's the thing, is that the purpose of marketing is not to build funnels. The purpose of marketing is not to make sales even. The purpose of marketing is to build relationships with people. And so what I'm interested in is, how can we build relationships on a fast track? How can we build a lot of relationships quickly, effectively, and fast? And a tribe funnel is essentially where you're using live events in your funnel. So instead of running ads or creating evergreen content that people will watch in their own space, in their own time, you're inviting them along to a live event. But that live event is part of a weekly or a regular community event that happens within your business. And it's free. You can turn it into a membership at a later stage, something that is on the horizon for testing, a hybrid funnel. But it's essentially a lead magnet. It acts as a lead magnet. And when you are actually delivering these live sessions every week as a live lead magnet, as opposed to creating one evergreen webinar that people can watch over and over again, what you do is you get in the trenches with your audience and you build really, really great, really long lasting, really strong relationships very quickly. And they also grow really fast. So the key components in lay terms, without using all my lingo to explain it, is that it's essentially a way of growing a Facebook group and turning a Facebook group into a community. Because a lot of people go wrong with Facebook groups or struggle with Facebook groups because they try promoting the group itself, and it doesn't really work. So a tribe funnel is a way to have a live lead magnet for your Facebook group that allows you to build your list simultaneously, your email list, because you need to be building one of those as well. And it just creates this accelerated process to grow your audience. It's incredibly powerful. So
Mm,
the other thing to mention with tribe funnels is that they grow very quickly because of the Facebook algorithm. I don't know if you know this,
Right.
Alessandro, but the Mark Zuckerberg is prioritizing communities on Facebook as one of it's to him as important as friends and family. And the reason why is because Facebook has one objective, and their one objective is to keep you on the platform for as long as possible, so you see as many ads as possible, and so they generate as much revenue as possible. And communities retain people on the Facebook platform because when you feel a part of something, it's harder for you to leave.
Okay, you put a lot of stuff there.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot.
I need to go step by step. First of all, I'm
Mhm.
trying to take notes while you're talking. So I want to cover everything. I want to go through everything you said, and I want to get into details. And I invite people that are watching this, if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat, in the comments below, and I will keep an eye on the comments. So if some questions will be there, I will ask them to Cordelia. Okay, so first of all, you said that with your tribe, like the important thing about tribe is not about making sales, but it's about creating connections and relationships with your audience, right?
Mhm.
So why do you say that? Why do I want to create a relationship? I mean, I want to make sales, right? We have a business, we want to make sales, we want to grow. So why are relationships so important to make sales?
Because and it's not the importance of a tribe, it's the purpose of marketing in general is to build relationships. The thing is that no one's going to become your client until they know you, like you, trust you. They need to recognize that they have a problem and that you are the solution to their problem. And they don't know that at first. So we build trust with our audience, and
Right.
relationships are built out of trust. Okay. So you know the age-old saying, taking someone from cold to sold. I like to humanize marketing because I think that, some of these terms are like really cold, like dehumanizing ways of looking at marketing. Essentially, what we're doing is we're taking someone from a place of, I don't know you, I don't like you, therefore I don't trust you. I might be aware of what my problem is. I'm not aware that you are the solution to my problem. And at that stage, just trying to get a sale from that person is highly unlikely. So, what we're doing in marketing is we're warming people up. We're using email lists, we're using lead magnets, we're using YouTube channels, we're using Facebook groups, we're using all of these strategies, all of these methods to get in front of our audience and get in front of our leads and nurture them to get them to a place where they know you, they like you, they trust you, they're aware of what their problem is, they're aware that you are the solution to their problem. And at that stage, what we're asking for is commitment from someone. We're asking them, do you want to be my client? Are you ready to buy this product? And that takes a level of commitment, which requires a level of trust. So
Hmm.
that's the kind of human term of taking someone from cold to sold. So of course the objective is to get sales, but the purpose really is to build relationships with people so that you bring them to a place of being ready to make that commitment and to become a client.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So I understood that you need to create this connection with your tribe before they're going to buy from you, because if they don't trust you, they will never buy from you, no matter what kind of product or service you're promoting. So you need to earn first their trust, and then you can put in front of them a product that you promote. But why using tribe? Why using a Facebook group and not using something like, I don't know, a webinar? Like something that people used for a long time. Why are you
Mhm.
using these challenges instead of using a webinar?
Well, a challenge is a promotional, like a live launch, essentially, where you're launching a product. So we'll come back to challenges. The tribe funnel is a weekly webinar. It's like this, like what we're doing just now, but it's
Okay.
same time, same place each week. And it happens in an environment where we can interact with the audience because they're in the room with us. So
Right.
that's the difference. It's a live in person, not in person, online in person webinar where you're inviting the audience in to come and participate. So the difference is that you haven't got a brick wall in between you and your audience. So like right now, the people watching, it's great to have you watching, but I can't see you. I can't interact with you very easily. I'm not getting to know you. And so when we're running a tribe event, we call it, which is essentially a live webinar, we've got the people in the room with us. Yeah, we're live streaming to Facebook, but they have the opportunity to get the Zoom link, which, by the way, means that in order for them to sign up for that Zoom link, this has now become a lead magnet because we're getting them
Sure.
to sign up for an event. So not only are we live streaming, but we're also getting leads from that live stream without needing to offer any other kind of level of value that's going to persuade people to join the list.
Nice. Okay, so I got the difference between your tribe and challenges. So the
Mm-hmm.
tribe is, let's assume, a Facebook group. I create a Facebook group. I want to interact with my audience there. I'm going to have a webinar every week, like we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, let's start first with the tribe and then we move to the challenges. So
Mm-hmm.
if I want to create a tribe right now, what are the things that I should do? If I want to create a Facebook group, what are the things that I have to do to create a really engaging Facebook group that's going to work instead of it's going to die in a couple of weeks or a couple of months?
So first and foremost, you need to forget the Facebook group for a minute, because your Facebook group is just like a cardboard box. So just like you go shopping on Amazon to buy a product that gets delivered in a cardboard box, your Facebook group acts as a bit of a cardboard box. Every time I'm on stage or in front of a lot of people and I say to them, who wants to be in another Facebook group? No one puts their hands up, because none of us want another Facebook group. It just means more notifications, more pinging, just another thing to look at, another thing to be distracted by. Like, nobody wants one. Same reason why nobody else wants to be on another mailing list. It's not the Facebook group that we are promoting. It's not the Facebook group that we are focusing on. What we want to do is
Right.
we want to create one piece of pillar content that sits within the cardboard box. And that's what we're promoting. So first you got to think about, well, what could the concept of my community be and my weekly live event? And we want to think of it a bit like a podcast, right? So a podcast has a concept. It might be, for instance, Amy Porterfield's Marketing Made Easy podcast. The concept is marketing made easy. And then the topics, each episode, link back to that concept. As long as they bridge back, she can talk about anything. She can talk about mindset. She can talk about looking after yourself. She can talk about morning routines. She can talk about email marketing, building communities. She can talk about it all, as long as she can bridge it back to that core concept. So what we need a concept. What is your tribe going to be? Who's it going to be for? What's the concept of it going to be? Like, what problem is it solving? So mine, the Rebellious Business Network, the problem that we solve is that we are supporting people who want to find more clients online. Okay, so our concept is that we have a weekly live event with training, tips, tricks, advice, guest experts, etc., to help you find more clients in the online space. And then we have, each week we have a different topic that bridges back to that main concept. So that's what we want to get clear on. What is the concept first? And who is this tribe for? Like, who is the ideal community member, if you like, for this tribe? And then what are your first few topics going to be for your first few events? And then what we're going to do is, from there, we're going to launch the Facebook group. So you don't even need to have a Facebook group when you do your first live event. You just do the first live event and then you get them all to jump into the Facebook group. And bingo, you've got your first 20 members in that Facebook group in one go. Because one of the main mistakes people make with Facebook groups is they put together a Facebook group and they go, well, I'm going to just put some posts in. I might do Monday motivation. Yeah, a little Monday motivation post, and I might do a little Friday celebration post. And, I'll put a blog in there in the middle of the week and, it'll be great.
Yeah.
But what happens is, with a lot of these Facebook groups, is they grow really slowly. And the couple of problems is that, number one, people are promoting the box, not the content inside the box. And there isn't a real concept. So there isn't much content inside the box. Number two, people invite a load of people to their Facebook group. So, you put together a Facebook group and you go, right, well, when my first ideal client comes along, I don't want it to be empty and only them in this group. So I'm just going to invite everyone. I'm going to invite my mum. I'm going to invite my sister. I'm going to invite the mums from school. I'm going to invite my friends. I'm going to invite this person, that person. And you invite a load of people who actually are the wrong fit for the group. And therefore, when you start creating content for that group, they don't really engage. They might at first support you, but they don't continually, because it's not really for them. And so that lack of engagement at the beginning signals to the algorithm that this group is not going to keep people engaged. And so the notifications on the group are kind of diminished because of that. And you can end up with a dead group very quickly. So you don't want to invite people. You launch your tribe event and get people to join from there. And the third tip is have a posting purpose, a reason why people should post in that group. Because what you want your group to look like is that you are the minority in terms of who is posting. You don't want to scroll through your group and it's you on every single post. You want it to be the contribution of people in that group. And so you want a purpose for people to post in the first place. What is the reason for them to post? And also, you want to be hosting your weekly live events on Zoom. So you're bringing people together and you're creating a community environment, because when people feel a part of it, they will contribute more.
Okay. All right. So let's put everything together. Let's try to keep all the bullet points there for everyone who wants to create a tribe and a Facebook group. So you said, first thing is to understand what is the main topic of your Facebook group. Now, I would like to ask you one thing. How specific you should go with the topic for your Facebook group? Should be really specific, or what would you say about that?
You mean the concept, right? So
I would say that, yeah,
the
I mean
concept
the
that we then
concept.
that we then bridge topics back to. So it depends. It really depends. I would say that mine is incredibly broad. Incredibly broad. Find clients online. That's really broad. And we have
Right.
actually narrowed it down to for coaches and consultants to find more, who want to find more clients online. But it doesn't really matter. What matters is that it is going to turn the head of your ideal client. So there's a reason why we get specific in marketing. And it's because specificity allows us to tap into emotion, because we're emotional characters, right? We make our decisions based on emotion. So in our marketing, we only niche down to get more specific so that we tap into emotion. Because if we're everything for everyone, it's not really hitting anyone emotionally, where it hurts. It's not really connecting with anyone on an emotional level. And so that's why we get specific. So if your concept is specific enough that it meets your client's needs where they're at and isn't like general and not meeting anyone where they're at, then that's great. So I'll give you some examples. So non-specific groups could be the happiness club, the place where people come for their daily dose of happiness. Now, that would be great for one of those groups that go viral and are full of memes, but it's not going to bring in your ideal client necessarily, because it's kind of talking to everyone and it's just going to be filled up with people posting memes probably. So we want to get specific on what is the now problem of your client, and that's how we get specific. So instead of making it the happiness club, could it be the Conquer Anxiety community, right? Which is
Got
one
it.
that a client of mine had. We're looking specifically at helping women to overcome their anxiety. And then every week there was a live event that was a meditation and journaling session to help you overcome your anxiety. And the posting purpose was that people wrote their wins, the things they were grateful for, the things they were celebrating that week, to kind of lift
I
the
see.
energy up of the community.
Okay, there are two things that are really interesting here, and I think that I did it in the wrong way in the past. I remember precisely, and many people do it in the wrong way. The first thing is I want numbers in my Facebook group. I want a lot of people to join, so you start sharing your Facebook group to everyone, not just to your ideal audience, but you share it to everyone. And this is
Yeah.
something that you shouldn't do, because you're going to end up with a dead group after a while,
Mhm.
because all the people that are in there, they're not interacting. So this
Yeah.
is really important. The second thing that I think is really important, even more important, is that you don't promote the container, but you promote the content. And
Mhm.
that's great. That's amazing, because usually you try to find the right name for your Facebook group, because you're going to promote your Facebook group. So if
Mhm.
the name, the title for your Facebook group is catching enough, people will join. But instead, you don't do that. You don't do that. You don't promote the container. You promote the content inside. And this
Mhm.
is way different. One thing that I wanted to ask you about the content, that I have a question about this actually. Like, you said that you use Zoom to create events every week. So maybe you do a weekly event with all the people in the group, well, with all your audience on Zoom, and then you use the group to, I don't know, for people to share their wins or to share their feedback about the Zoom event. So basically, your audience is outside your tribe, is outside your Facebook group, and then you use the Zoom event to make them join the Facebook group to post, or you use a different technique.
Okay, good question. So, firstly, just to answer into your first thing, the name of your group and the banner of your group is actually important, because at first you are definitely, and in your own promotion, you are definitely promoting the content of the box. But what's going to happen is that Facebook, when you're getting good engagement in that group, Facebook are going to start promoting your group for you. This is why Facebook groups actually grow faster than a YouTube channel. They grow faster than an Instagram account. They grow faster than a business page. They grow fast, and it's because Facebook advertise them for you as recommended groups to people. So that is important. That is important. The name and the banner photo is the ad for your.
I think I lost you, Cordelia. We can't hear you. I don't know if there is a problem with the microphone. No. Let me see. Maybe it's my problem.
How's
Okay,
this?
now I can hear you. Nice.
Was
Go
it you?
back 1 minute. So yeah, start start from a minute ago.
Um, I was just adding there that Facebook have a community summit, right? Where they give 7 Facebook group owners, community leaders or whatever they call them, a 50,000 cash reward, like award. Why is Facebook giving people $50,000 and awarding them the $50,000 for running successful Facebook groups and giving them access to Facebook Facebook team support as well? So anyway, Facebook will grow your group for you. They are pushing groups, and it's definitely a great way in which your group does grow.
Okay.
But then, in answer to your question about, is the Zoom call outside of the group and then you bring people into the group? The answer is no. It's all in the group. So you will have a landing page where people can sign up for the live event, and on the thank you page, it's like, awesome, join the community. There's a button there that's like, step 1. I think mine says step 1, save the date. Step 2, join the community. Step 3, here's your Zoom link or something like that. You'll also have an email series that goes out automatically. So email 1 is, here's your ticket for the live event. 1 day later, your invitation to join the tribe. And then all the reasons why they should join the tribe. We're about to do our 100th episode of the Rebellious Business Network this Wednesday. And so we've got 100 recordings of trainings that people can watch. So it's a great incentive to get people inside that Facebook group to go and get access to all of that training and all of those resources. So we will promote the event by just shooting a video and going, this is what's happening at the Rebellious Business Network this week. Then we'll push that video and the copy and the posts and all the promotional stuff out to social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, wherever we're hanging out. And then from there, people will click the link, sign up on the landing page, and then they'll come into the Facebook group that way around. So the Zoom call happens on Zoom, right? But we live stream it into the Facebook group.
Got it.
And the recording is in the Facebook group. So that creates a balance between the list and the Facebook group, because you want to get people signing up to your email list, because that is your real estate and that is your safety net from not putting all your eggs in Mark Zuckerberg's basket. No, thanks. That's just, so you want to get people signing up to your list for that reason, but you also want to get people into your group. And so you get them to go to the group to what you email the recording to the list and get them to go to the group to watch the recording. And you get people to sign up for the Zoom link so they get the Zoom link emailed to them. Make sense?
Nice. I like it. And then you use the Facebook group to, like, during the Zoom call, the Zoom meeting, I guess that you give assignments to people to use the Facebook group in a way to post their, no, it's not
No,
like
it's
that.
a good idea though. It's a brilliant idea. Like if you wanted to use that as a posting purpose, I'm sure that would be fab. Like we do that in challenges. And you've been inside
Okay.
the challenge group, but that's different. The challenge group is a pop-up group. That's a disposable Facebook group that we just have for that one launch. The Rebellious Business Network Facebook group is our permanent Facebook group, and
It's always there.
it's
Right.
always there. And so inside that group, our posting purpose is that actually you're allowed to promote your business in there within reason, right? So we straight to the sale goes straight in the bin, as we say. So, using the training that we give you to like build relationships with people and, bring people into your funnel and build relationships with them, not just like shoving a 50% offer down their throat when they've never even heard of you, right?
Of course.
We want to practice what we preach. So we allow you to promote in our Facebook group, but you've got to build a relationship with the audience.
Okay, got it. Okay, so I think that this leads us to challenges because we know everything about the Facebook group. We know that actually, no, there is a last thing, and then we can move to challenges. Last thing is you talked about it's important not to make your Facebook group die because no one is posting. So you already tell us that you go live every week. Like once per week, you go live with your entire audience. You're going to stream. You're going to have this event on Zoom, but at the same time, you stream inside your Facebook group. You have all the recordings there. Great. But how can you make this, how can you keep this Facebook group alive? Because if you go live just once per week, how can you keep this alive? How can you make people interact with the Facebook group?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a great question. And I think it's the one that worries people, especially when they're first getting started. So, consistency. Now, I know that having one piece of pillar content once per week doesn't sound like very much, but it is much better to have that one piece of pillar content that you're consistent with on a weekly basis as a compound effect than it is to go all in and create 5 posts a week or 5 lives or whatever it is that you're going to do and then drop the ball 2 weeks later or 4 weeks later and then come back to it in a few months. You don't want a gap in your Facebook group because how it works, a gap of like no content, because how it works is that I don't know if you've ever noticed this, right? But when you join a Facebook group, in the first week or so, you get a lot of notifications about that group. But after a couple of weeks, if you haven't engaged with anything, you all of a sudden never hear about that group again. Like you never get notified
Sure.
about it again, ever. So we want to be capturing people's attention in the first week of them joining that group, first and foremost. Secondly, we want to get people engaging in the group. We want to get people to post themselves in the group. This is really key because if they engage in the group by putting posts in the group, then that's going to be really powerful. So you have your one piece of pillar content that happens every single week, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is other people posting. And this is the only real place on social media where this kind of balance is important. Everywhere else, it's about our content and how many times we're posting and the hashtags we're using and what time we're posting and, all of that kind of stuff. But in a Facebook group, what matters more is you've got your community members posting. So this is where the posting purpose comes into play. But there's also important little things that you can do, like DM every new member a welcome message and maybe link them to a resource that's within the group that they can go and check out that would help them. Or, have a question on the front door that then leads into you starting a conversation with them once they've joined the group. So we've actually got a lady called Nada now who does this for us, because I'm not messaging every new member that comes in anymore, but it started that way and it works really well. So getting people in and then giving them a reason to post. Now, we were originally a networking event that was put together at the start of COVID-19 to keep business owners together through the lockdowns. And that was our thing. So, the Facebook group was actually designed to be their platform. And I say this to them. I'm like, this is your platform on which you can connect with people, etc. You're allowed to promote your business. And by them coming and doing that, that increases the algorithm for us.
It makes sense. Totally makes sense. Great, great. I love it. I love it because there are so many things that you cover that we don't hear enough, at least, about Facebook group. We don't know how they works. We don't know anything about the algorithm. We just keep our fingers crossed to that is not going to die for any reason. But this makes a lot of sense. It's about consistency. It's about growing a library of content that is always there and people can check whenever they want. It's about giving a reason to people to post. It's about sharing the content, not the container.
Mhm.
All great advice. And this leads us to challenges. Now let's start talking about challenges, because I think that is a new thing. It's well, not that new, but not too many people are using challenges at the moment, to create a connection, to make sales, to sell their products and services. So let's start talking about challenges. First of all, you already said what a challenge is. It's an event that happens for a specific amount of time. It starts on a day, it ends on another day, and it's like, for example, a 5 days event. You go on for this 5 days, you teach specific things, and then when the event is done, you're going to close the group. So you use
Mhm.
this group as a pop-up group, and it makes sense. But
Yeah.
now let's start from the basics. On what topic, or what kind of, how can you create a challenge? Like, are you going to give a specific topic for this challenge, like let's learn how to get clients and let's go for a 5-day lesson, 5-day course about this with a pop-up group, or how do you start
Mhm.
it?
So, first and foremost, you need an audience and you need to be clear on what your product is because it's all got to lead in with each other. So, I would say step one, and this is what I was saying to you, is that, tribe funnels comes first, right? Because first we need an audience in which to populate the challenge. So I
Okay.
would suggest that when you've got around 200 people in your Facebook group and on your list, you're ready to launch your first challenge. And the challenge needs to be something that your audience wants. So it's going to be congruent with your group anyway. Maybe teaching them something that, like you say, perhaps it's teaching them how to get clients online. We've done multiple challenges, for a couple a little bit like that. The get clearer, get louder, get clients challenge was the first one we did over 2 years, no, about 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. And they've we've done various different ones. Now, the reason why I mentioned a pop-up group is because you don't necessarily want to do the same challenge over and over again in your main Facebook group. What's going to
Okay.
happen is that you're going to saturate your audience, your existing audience, with the same content. Now, that Facebook group that you've been so lovingly building your tribe funnel, right? Those are your people. That is your tribe. And what is really powerful about that tribe funnel is that not only is it a way to generate new leads, but it's also a way to nurture your existing leads. So we want to be looking after the guys that are in that group. We don't want to be saturating them with the same stuff over and over again or spamming them with launches. So doing it in a pop-up group, it gives them the option to come over into this group and join. But if they don't, then they're not going to really hear much else about it. So I would suggest that when you've got 200 people in that group, you actually launch your first challenge launch inside your main Facebook group. And then
Hmm.
after that, you use a pop-up group thereafter so that
Okay.
you're not, completely saturating that group with the same content. What that's going to do, it's going to allow you to do the same challenge over and over again so that you can rinse it and repeat it. This was a
Okay.
mistake that I made. I did a different challenge every single time because it was the same group and it just created so much work for me. And also it meant that I wasn't really able to test things out and tweak things and split test things because I was needing to come up with fresh content every single time. So you need to pick a topic that your audience are hungry to learn more about. And the only
Okay.
way that you'll figure that out is by testing it, by putting it to the market and seeing what the result is. So depending on what your tribe funnel is all about, let's say that it's about finding more clients online. It could be the 10K challenge, how to get your first 10K month. If your audience are hungry about that, then
Hmm.
that could go down really well. And the only thing is that you're not really going to get anyone generating 10K in 5 days on a challenge, but you can get them to a point where they're ready to generate 10K or they're
Okay.
one step closer. But generally, it's better if you can give them a result off the back of that challenge. So some popular ones that I see are things like 30 leads in 5 days, 30 new leads in 5 days, or 30 leads in 30 days, I think it was. Which is kind of like not very ambitious, is it? I think we could get 30 leads in one day if we really wanted to. Then the
And I guess that you can even ask your followers in your main Facebook group, in your tribe. You can create a poll or create a survey and ask them what kind of challenge they want to see, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the beauty is actually if you are running a tribe funnel, then you're going to know your audience quite well,
Yeah.
right? That's the really cool thing about it, is that I know my audience really well. Like I know them. I'm not making it up. It's not fictional. Like that. They're actually real people that I connect with on a weekly basis and talk to. Like I really know who they are, which is really cool. But yeah, so find out from them. That's a great idea. But then test something. The key is it needs to be congruent to the product that you're going to sell. Now, I recommend using a challenge to sell a one-to-many program, like a live coaching, a live group coaching program, or a course, or a mastermind, or something where you want sort of like multiple people to join at the same time. You can get your one-to-ones fully booked easily through just your tribe funnel, right? But with the challenge launches, they work really well for your group programs, for your one-to-many programs, because you get an injection of people. And what you'll probably find is even when you're promoting a group program, you get one or two one-to-ones coming on anyway, because they're like, yeah, I really want to work with you, but I really want to work with you one-to-one. You're like, cool, let's talk about that. So they're good for promoting groups. So basically, what is the group program that you're running or wanting to run? If you haven't got one yet and you're designing one, same process. What does your audience want? Or what would be the group version of your one-to-one program? Yeah. And then your challenge needs to lead into that. So, the tribe funnel challenge that we run leads into our audience accelerator program. So the audience accelerator is about how to set your business up in a way that you are accelerating your audience and bringing in more sales. It's the kind of first leg process for really getting started. And if they're already established, we have another program that is the academy. So it leads well into those programs, and it needs to lead well. Yeah. So that's it, all needs to link together. So it's difficult for me to answer that question without seeing what you've already got in place.
Of course, of course. Well, I think that it's pretty clear that you have your tribe, and then once in a while you run a challenge based on what your audience is looking for, something that they want to learn. How long should a challenge last? Like, you did a lot of tests, so do you think that 5 days is the best range of time, or 10 days, or 30 days? What did you discover?
I think that you lose people's attention, especially if there's a lot of challenges at the moment that are doing paid upgrades and paid challenges. And I think that retains people's attention better, obviously, because when we pay for something, we're more committed.
Of
But I
course,
think if we're going to do a 30-day challenge, expect that your retention of
it's going to
challenges
drop.
is going to drop unless the stakes are high, unless like the prizes are really good, like you're offering a Ferrari as a prize, like then people are gonna stick around, right? But if you're prizes, or if you know what it's like, you've got a YouTube channel, you see the chart of like where people's attention drops on videos.
Of course.
Just the same with challenges. So for me, I think 5 days is the sweet spot. I think it's enough
Okay.
time for you to actually, what's really interesting is that you can actually build a community in 5 days as well. You can build a real community vibe in that group. And that's really, really key. You want people to be going through this immersive experience together, so that when one joins your program, another one wants to, and another one wants to, because of, like they kind of want to be in it together and continue the journey together. But you want to be creating this community vibe where it's like community over competition. Everybody's helping each other and supporting each other throughout the challenge. That's really important to me. Not only for the algorithm and keeping people engaged, but also to create that community environment, and just for it to just be an awesome place to be. I think 5 days is a really good amount of time to have a result off the back of a challenge, really give some substance and some good value, leave them wanting more, and keep their attention and keep them engaged.
Got it. And what happens every day? 5 days, 5 days in this challenge. What are you gonna do every day?
5 fast action trainings is how I describe them. So it's not like 5 full days. Nobody's got time for that. but it's just 5 30-minute trainings. And off the back of the 30-minute trainings, there's a little bit of homework to do, complete all the homework, hand it in, and you get entered into a raffle to win like £1,500 to £2,500 worth of prizes.
All right. Okay,
You
so
don't have to do
5
those prizes
trainings.
like that, by the way. You don't have to do prizes that much, by the way, as well. Like,
And by the way, you do prizes to keep the attention high. This is the reason why you do prizes. Like, so people want to do their homeworks, they want to stick around for all the 5 days. This is the reason for the prizes, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't, the reason why, like, the prizes don't need to be that much. I see people do like book bundles, candles, flowers, all sorts of random bits and bobs I see people giving away in challenges. But yeah, I justify putting that much in the prize pot because I'm like, well, we're not paying, we don't run our business on ads. Like, all of this is organic. Everything has been organic. Tribe Funnels is an organic strategy. All of our challenges, apart from one recently, we tested ads, but we only spent £200 on ads. It wasn't exactly that much.
That's great.
Everything so far has been organic. So this is all kind of organic methodology. So a lot of people run ads to challenges and will spend like £1,000 on getting people in, right? Cold traffic. And then of course the conversion rate is lower because it is with cold traffic. But then you've only got a certain budget, right? You can't eat all the profit margin with ads and prizes. So I can justify that because I'm like, well, we don't really spend anything on ads, so we can invest in the prize pot a bit more.
That's true. That's true. It makes sense at the end because you already have the tribe, you have the connection with these people. These are the people that are joining your challenges, so they are already warm audience.
Yeah.
And as you said, the money that you will spend with ads, you will spend it for a prize. But as you said, like, you don't have to do everything correctly from the beginning. Maybe you start, you create your first challenge, you don't add any prizes, you just go with it, you try to create the best content you can in 5 days. Every day you go live. Oh, actually, this is the thing. Are you going live every day, or it's new video that you pre-record and you add?
You go live. Like, no, people hate that. Like, be live. Like, actually go live. Be there with the people. They're commenting. You're calling their names out. You're interacting with them. And you can do it on Zoom as well. Next time we run one, that we've got one going live tomorrow, and it's the last time we're doing it completely for free. Next time we're going to be having a VIP ticket where you can come and join me on the Zoom call, and I will coach you through things as well. So it's different ways you can do it, but yeah, definitely be live with people for sure.
Okay. Yeah, of course. And you're going to have a stronger bond with people going live. You can check their comments, you can interact with them. So, and it's not the end of the world going live for 5 days in a row. It's not that you have to go live 30 days in a row. It's 5 days. You can definitely do it for 30 minutes a day. And how did you move to your offer at the end of the challenge? Because I guess that at day number 5, you promote something, like, as you said, you promote your next step. That could be day number 5, or I guess that you do it in day number 6, like a bonus day, to talk about your offer. How do you move to it without, I don't know, making people say, okay, so this entire challenge was to sell something? How can you do that?
Well, it's quite simple, is that you're like, for some of you, you're going to take everything that you've learned in this challenge and you're going to implement it. And I cannot wait to see what you do with what you've learned here. And for some of you, you're just going to be ready to work with us on a closer level, to come and actually have this laid out step by step, have the support that you need. This is really getting out of your comfort zone for some of you. Some of you haven't got email lists set up. Some of you need support with the pitch, with the sales call, with this, with that, with this, with that, etc., etc. And for those of you that are ready to come and work with us on a closer level, then, you know, and then I go through and explain to them what that looks like. But I'm not just leaving that until the last day. You know, I'm talking into that on like day 3. So I'm explaining to them, you know, I'm busting the elephant in the room. I think everybody expects free content to be a sales pitch. So let's just get it out and be like, look, there's nothing for you to buy in this challenge, essentially. That we do have an offer for you. It's an application only process. So if you're interested, the first step would just be to apply and have a chat with one of the team about whether it is the right fit for you. But I'm going to walk you through and explain what that is so that you can make a decision about whether this is something that makes you feel excited or not, you know. So we're offering that earlier on like day 3, and also we're already having conversations with people before the challenge even begins. So often we've got people that have already bought the challenge offer before we even announced it. So it's like, you know, it's you're just having conversations with people in the DMs, you're checking in, seeing what they need, where they're up to, what they're doing in their business, you know, prospecting and having that conversation. And if there's a way that we can support them, we will offer that. So it's a way to get people engaged. And yes, there is a pitch, but it's not that sleazy end of the week kind of pitch where you're like, and now, you know, like it's
So you're clear from the beginning, like day 3, you're already talking about this. You are showing the prices as well of how much it's gonna cost to join your program, right? Like you're totally clear. It's not like out of a sudden, day number 5, you go with the offer. It's not like this.
Yeah, it's not quite like that, no.
Okay, nice. And then after day number 5, what happens? Like, is the challenge keep going on until you don't close the doors for your offer, or you close the door, like you close the group at day number 5?
The group will stay open for a couple of days. People like to chit chat and share, like, oh, I've put my group together and this, that, and the other, and like, oh, I had my first live event. It went really well, and they like to. But yeah, we do shut the group after a few days. There's sometimes like interviewing our clients in that group so that people can get an idea of what it's like behind the doors, behind the scenes, working with us in the academy or in the accelerator. And then we're just then wrapping things up at that point, and we're just letting people know that the offer that we've got is a limited time offer, and that they've got, you know, 1 day left, or today's the day that we're closing it off, and then we close the group, and then we do it all again next month.
Okay. All right. So I think that you already replied with this last sentence to my dodgy question, but I wanted to ask you one thing. Like, okay, let's assume that you run this challenge this month. You put together the group. You start the challenge, day number 1, day number 2, 3, 4, 5. And then at day number 3, you present your offer, right? So you present your offer, you say that people can join. The deadline is in 2 days or 3 days, and then you're gonna close the doors. Okay, if you go like this, how long should it pass before you're going to run the next challenge? Because if you keep running challenges every month, people will say, okay, if I'm not joining the offer right now, I know that Cordelia is going to run another challenge in a month or in 2 months. So I'm not going to join the offer right now. I'm going to postpone it. I know that I will have other chances to join this offer. So how do you make people understand that you're opening the doors to a really exclusive offer that is going to close the doors in a couple of days, and then they don't know when they're going to be able to join again?
It's interesting that you say that. Like, I actually am kind of not that excited by that as a tactic, to be honest. I think that people will join when they know it's the right time for them. Our doors are always open. You can come back and join us anytime. We're not going to have this sort of sleazy technique where we're like
pushing
and putting people into corners and emotionally manipulating them to make decisions when they're not ready to make them. I full well know that some of our audience have been wanting to join our program for a while, because I'm constantly, you know, having conversations with people that want to join, but it's just not the right time. They haven't got the finances just now, or they're looking towards that time when they're going to be in that position. And when it is that time for them, they're going to feel excited by joining the program, because we never, ever, ever want to leave people with a taste of buyer's remorse in their mouth. Like they were pushed into buying something that they weren't really ready for. We're here to support people, to empower people, to, you know, build people up. And the way that we teach sales and the way that we practice sales is never about being pushy. It's about being supportive and helping people make decisions that are the right ones for them. So it's a good question, because from a almost a kind of like a tactical marketing perspective based on the history of marketing tradition, how do we create scarcity so people are scared that if they don't buy now, they won't get the opportunity? And it's a great question, and it is something that you need to be mindful of. But there are a couple of things. Firstly, we create an offer that's challenge specific, that does change, but not always. Sometimes it's, there's just some extra bonuses or something like that. We do actually have a situation coming just now where our prices are going up on the 1st of April.
Okay.
And so that will be, but it is a real kind of thing that,
Okay.
is happening. But yeah, I guess the thing is that we are having conversations with people regularly. The challenges and the touch points and everything that we have in our business are just ways to kick off these conversations and to have these conversations. If it's the right time for people, they will come on board. If it's not, we'll continue to build relationships with them and nurture them in other ways and support them the best that we can. And, when the time is right, they'll come and join us, because I hope it's because they really love how we treat people. They really love how we look after people. They really love who we are. And it's not just about what we do and the fear around not buying into
Sure.
it.
It's true. Like, these are people you talk with every week. Every week on your tribe, on your Facebook group, you talk with them, you know them, you are a real relationship with them. As you said at the beginning, you know them. It's not that they are people you never met before. You already know them and they know you. So this happened to me to the last two launches, two groups, pop-up groups that I run for my challenges. You don't need to use all these sleazy techniques at the end. Like, it's not that you have to push people and put a deadline and scarcity and all these things. You don't need to do it at the end, because at the end, people, after 5 days with you, or the last challenge that I ran was 10 days. And you're right, I saw a little drop. But at the end of the challenge, people are so excited and they learn so much and they love your content so much that they are ready to get on the next step. Like, you don't have to use any technique to convince them
Yeah.
to embark with you on the next adventure, on your next group or your paid offer. You don't need to do much. You just need to tell them, look, let's talk about this. If you are interested, let's have a call. Let's talk about this, and then let's see if it makes sense for you to get on the next step and to get on my paid offer. So it's a complete different approach. You said at the beginning that you're not using ads. You're not bringing cold audience into your pop-up group. You're using something that makes more sense and it's more in line with the entire strategy that you're using. You are talking to real people, you're creating a real connection, people trust you, people are grateful for what you're doing every week. And when you do a challenge, they will be ready to get on board with your offer because they already know you, they already trust you, and they are grateful for what you do. So it's not about using sleazy technique to convince a stranger to buy your course. It's completely different. So I think it makes totally sense.
Absolutely. And it's like I said at the start, the purpose of marketing is building relationships. And this is why. Because when you do build relationships with people and you do create an environment where people trust you, and you're building your reputation and you're elevating your authority, and it's all kind of combined, that carries you a long way. So the conversion rate for cold audience is between 1% and 2%. The conversion rate for a warm audience is between 7% and 8%. Like, it's a vast difference. And so, yeah, like the ads to the challenge, the only ads that we've ran are to a warm audience anyway, right? And I think it's just really, really powerful to be building audiences and warming them up so that when you are ready to do launches, that you're not pitching to a cold audience or you're not talking to people that don't know you. But what is really powerful about challenges, and indeed any kind of live event, in-person live events and online events, whether it's a full day summit or masterclass or a weekly thing like a tribe funnel or challenges, is that there is a lot of momentum that picks up. There's a lot of energy that is exchanged, and you really do build relationships on a fast track with people. I call it a whirlwind bizmance, where You build relationships quickly with people in the room, and you see it traditionally happening in live events. It's why there will be a room of people running to the back of the room to buy a product when before that person stood on stage they hadn't ever heard of him before. And it's because there's a social proof, the energy, the immersive experience that people are going through together. It's just incredible how fast it can move people. And so my question is, how do we bring this to the online space? And my answer is like this, with tribe funnels and challenges.
Nice. I love it. Cordelia, thank you so much. I'm sure that people watching this or watching the recording, they love the content because, as I said, it's a complete new technique. It's different from everything we hear about marketing using like soliciting techniques and deadlines and urgency and webinars and all these techniques that maybe are not working that much anymore. So I loved it. Where can people find you if they want to check your tribe or check the next challenges that you're going to run?
Absolutely. Just search for the Rebellious Business Network. You'll find us. We've got a live event happening every single week. And it's actually our 100th Rebellious Business Network episode tomorrow. No,
Nice,
Wednesday.
nice.
Monday today, isn't it? Wednesday. 100 episodes. Really, really exciting. So we're going to have
Congrats.
a special event on Wednesday to celebrate that. But yeah, Rebellious Business Network. It was quite a unique name, and you'll be able to find us easily.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode with the Escape 95 Club. If you want to ask any questions, even if this event is gone, even if we're not live anymore, just drop comment below, ask your questions below. I'm sure that Cordelia can jump into the group once in a while to reply to your questions. And for the rest, again, thank you so much, Cordelia. It was a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. And I hope we're going to have another conversation maybe about something else. I don't know, maybe it doesn't have to be challenges, maybe something else. Thank you again for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.